We are the friends that refuse to let you settle anywhere.
We want you to take whatever expectations you have for your business and your life and expand them further than you've allowed yourself to before.
We're talking style, connection, purpose, and securing all the bags.
You can sit with us, but we're going to have you step your game up too.
I'm Robert.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Susan.
Welcome to
the
Most.
Most.
Welcome to the Most podcast, where you are going to learn how to be the most version of yourself.
I'm Susan Hyatt.
I'm Rachel Rodgers.
I'm Robert Hartwell, and welcome to The Most. So on this episode, we are talking about our favorite moments from The Most 2022. So I would love to hear from y'all. What were the moments that stood out to you from last year?
Well, there were so many amazing moments because the most really is the most. And you got to be in the room.
You really have to.
You have to be in the room. I just noticed your fabulous earrings.
Oh, you're
Hello.
welcome.
They're the most.
You're welcome.
But honestly, there's so many. If I had to choose, it would be being a white girl at Black church.
Okay. Can we talk about this moment? Listen.
That gospel choir.
Yes, that gospel brunch, y'all.
Yeah.
That was your mastermind.
Oh my god.
The gospel brunch was Robert's idea, so thank you, Robert.
My goodness.
That choir was incredible. I mean, they started, as soon as he started, we were like, what? And it's so funny because the band wasn't even in the room yet.
Yeah.
Like, the band was supposed to be playing, and they were
like eating or something.
Yes, it's like they were taking a break and they hadn't got noticed that we were starting. And he was like, oh, I got this. I'm going to just go ahead and break down the Oh Happy Day real quick. That man started singing.
God,
we all started sobbing. It was like 1, 2, 3. Because y'all know I'm not the crier out the group. But this one started. Then here go this one.
Oh.
And then they took me with you.
Yeah.
I had my linen napkin waving. I was getting down.
But what I loved in that moment is it didn't matter what you believed.
Yes.
Right.
It was a collective of so many different faiths, and it was people just celebrating love and joy and togetherness and
hope.
And hope.
It's the language of hope. That's really what it was. And it's like we had all, for 2 to 3 days, right? We were dreaming and planning and getting creative, right? Together. And then to be in that room to say, there is hope for your dreams and they are possible. And let's believe in ourselves and let's believe it. I mean, it was church.
Yes.
And it was so beautiful to see people of all different ethnicities, identities, religious backgrounds, different belief systems, really celebrating and singing and dancing and having an amazing time. It was so intimate and really beautiful. And I'm telling you, we were just sobbing. We were dancing.
Yes.
We were waving. We were hollering.
You matter.
Yes.
You're special.
Yes.
It was fabulous.
It was incredible. That was exceptional.
Yeah.
Truly. And I mean, let's be clear about who we had in the room. These are people who have performed with Miss Beyonce, okay?
Right.
On a regular basis, right? These are the kinds of singers that literally make you weep the moment they open their mouths. So it was, and then when the band came in.
Yeah. But actually, let's just talk about that for a second, because everyone always says, oh, I don't understand the most, or really, is it the most? No, it truly is. I mean, when we say you need to be in the room, you need to be in the room because what we want to model for everyone that comes into our space is how can we have our best now?
Yes.
Right? How can we even shake ourselves? So the people that we ask to come to the most, from the talent to the keynotes, I get nervous when we send those asks out. We're asking you to get uncomfortable with your most version of yourself.
Yes.
We're asking the same for ourselves. So this is not, putting some singers up on the stage and singing some gospel music. Literally, like Rachel said, these folks, the folks that you saw performing in Beyonce's Homecoming, and the people that you will also see on the Renaissance World Tour, those are the music arrangers that were at the most.
Yes.
These are the creatives that we have in the room. And I think that we rise by like the frequency that we're around, and those books took us to the next level.
Because it's a standard of excellence. Like everybody who's speaking, there is a standard of excellence creatively in the room, and so then we all get to rise to that and realize like to be the most excellent version of ourselves. Right, when we see that around us, like they say, like in order to write a good book, read good writing, right? And it's the same thing. Be surrounded by excellence, creative excellence, and you will reach your creative excellence as well.
Absolutely.
What else stood out to you?
Yes.
The other thing that stood out to me was the person who styled us, Elsa Isaac.
Yes.
We did a fabulous styling session, and there were winners in the audience. And it's always so fun for me to see women get excited about how they adorn their bodies, because what you put against your skin matters.
Yes.
And there were some winners who went on to, they won a styling session with Elsa, but then we also gave them the funds to purchase wardrobe with what they learned. And seeing the after effect of that work was also one of my favorite moments. So,
exactly. Yeah. Seriously, I loved that too. And there were such raves about that moment as well, because I think we don't realize like how much this matters and how we show up. Like it's not the material of the clothing that matters, but it's how you feel in it that allows you to show up and be your most excellent self, right? Be your most self. Yeah. So I loved that moment too. That was one of my favorites as well.
Yeah. So good.
So good. So good. So good. Yeah, we gotta trademark that. I love our jingle.
Yes, that's a good
really
jingle.
Good. It's really good. We'll teach it to you when you come to the most.
When you come to the most, we will teach you the jingle, so you can sing it as well.
So speaking of so good, what was so good?
For me, okay, so listen, my favorite moment, hands down, without question, and literally this had to beat the gospel choir, which is really unbeatable. But following that, we had a very special guest come and speak, Miss Yvette Knoll-Schur. And she is Beyonce's publicist. She's a publicist to many celebrities and musicians and creatives and artists, right? And so she is around creative excellence all the time. And so Robert interviewed her, and, you know, they had a whole conversation about, like, what does it take to become a star, right? This is a woman who has, you know, talked to and spent time with Destiny's Child and Beyonce when we all didn't know their names yet, right? They were trying to become who they later became. And so she was there right at the outset, and she told that whole story and that whole journey. And you really got to see that, like, leadership is crucial to becoming a star, right? Really believing in yourself and really being you, right? Like, that is the thing. It's like, we think like, oh, I want to be like Beyonce, I need to do this thing, or I want to be like this amazing creative or celebrity, and so I need to be like them. No, you just need to be the most authentic version of yourself. Correct. And do it out loud and do it full out, right? And lead with that and really protect that brand, protect that mission, protect that assignment. And that's actually how you become a star, right? That's how you reach your greatest potential. So that interview was incredible. She is so inspiring and so fun. Yes. Like, it was just, we laughed, we cried, and we were all inspired by that amazing interview.
Can I share something on that?
Yes.
You just said the word adorn, and it just like reminded me, she wore a crown.
Yes,
that's
she
right.
wore a crown, and there is this old gospel song that says, I shall wear a crown, right? As though like I will one day wear a crown. And what I believe Yvette shows all of us is wear your crown now.
Yes.
You know, get your flowers now. Put your crown on now. Like she always says, like, pull out the good sheets, pull out the good china. You know, that's what she encourages us to do. But I can't stop saying it. You have to be in the space to experience that magic. Like, yes, can you watch the replay of that incredible interview? Yes, but to feel the energy of what she like spun in the room. Everybody was so inspired, and it was like the perfect follow-up. The other thing too is like, we spend so much time
setting up the schedule, deciding like what the content is, like really laying out the experience. And literally it's so serendipitous how it just all flows perfectly together and just magic happens the whole way. I mean, I have to tell you, people were crying from when they hit the door until when they left. There was crying, there was dancing, there was big belly laughs. Like we had so much fun together, and it was truly a transformative experience, really. Like you come in one way and you're leaving a different person, and you're leaving the old version of yourself literally in LA, and you're getting on a plane and going home and becoming this new, more excellent, more most version of yourself. It's really magic.
Yeah.
Truly.
What else stood out for you?
Okay. Another one of my absolute favorite moments from the most was actually right at the beginning of the conference, right? And so I'm sitting there in the back with Susan, Robert's taking the stage, and I'm like, okay, well, while he's doing that, I'm going to just like go through my notes and be prepping for the next session, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm like shuffling my papers and I'm doing all my things. And then he starts talking. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute. Let me sit up straight, right? And it's so funny because you were telling a story that I had heard before. I knew this story personally. Like you've shared it with me.
You were in the story.
I'm in the story, right? And but the way he told this story on stage, and how, I mean, we were all so moved and just riveted, and we're like, well, what happened next? Tell us more, right? Like we were just leaning in. That was such an incredible way to open it. And also, if you want to know how to tell your stories better, right? Like you need to be at the most, because that's one of the things that you're going to learn and experience there. And I just think that I was blown away. And I think it's so interesting how, like, you can tell a story to your friends and it hit you one way. And then when you can be on stage and truly command a room and tell a story that transforms, it's incredible. So like these stories that we think we have that are like not that important, they can be truly transformative for people. Like they can change people if you're willing to share that story, especially in a certain way on stage. So I just think that you are a master storyteller, and I was so moved by that. And just like, it's so fun to watch your friends shine and just like absolutely slay. And so that was definitely one of the highlights for me.
Come on. Don't you get me.
And you know, that beat out the dance party. Okay, Robert?
Listen.
So
that's
high praise.
Thank you.
Because you know I'm here to dance. Always.
Listen, I think one, that's very kind. And thank you, friend. I think one of my favorite moments was an opportunity to be something new.
Yes.
You know, like truly, Susan was stepping into really talking about her new program, Women Invested. And just to see her sit in that strength and say like, yeah, you may know me for retreats. Yeah, you may know me for Bold. Yeah, you may know me for Bear. But a reason I'm able to do so much of that work is because the groundwork that I've been doing and investing for all of these years, like that was like super, super powerful. And also just an invitation for all of us to see, because like, are we going to talk about style? Are we going to talk about storytelling, stage presence, how to get an agent, all of those things? Yes. But we're also going to talk about securing the bag.
Hello.
All right.
Yes.
Like we're going to talk about it.
In more ways than one.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know? And so that was definitely, that also like you all giving me an opportunity to tell that story. Like that was scary and exciting to stand in front, because that really, I presented my new company for the first time, Strength on Stages. You know, it was the first time
you launched it.
Yeah, I launched it at the most. It was the first time that I didn't say, I'm a Broadway performer and I'm the founder of the Broadway Collective. It's like, no, that is like, what was your foundation? And now there's this new thing, and it's like, I'm a storytelling coach and I have a company, Strength on Stages.
Yes.
You know, and so it was that was a magical experience. But I think hands down one of my favorite moments was the step and repeat on the last day. Okay? I know that sounds so wild. Okay?
I love it though.
So we are 2-3 days into the event, right? And we have gone through all of these incredible sessions. I mean, like, I can't even explain to you. I mean, we had people, talent agents, we had managers there, we had publicists there, we had, I mean, folks from
Literary
MGM,
agents.
people that represent Beyonce, people that represent like multi-million dollar brands and do multi-million dollar brand deals were there in that room teaching. But for me, on that last day, to see all of the participants come up to us one at a time and get a picture with us and just say, thank you. You know, it was that moment that you're like, this work matters.
Yes.
And people are truly getting a transformation that's going to go beyond these 3 days. It feels like, I feel what we had the last day at ROI.
Yes.
When we're all in that dance party and it's like, you know, you're not the same anymore.
Yes.
You know, and you know, you're going to go out and do more. And that's what I'm most excited about 2023 for the most, is really where we are putting our focuses around personal branding and how we build out those personal brands. Because it's one thing to build your company, but like, boo, what if you build out that company to sell it and you also have this other media personal brand that you're building that is just something completely separate,
Yes.
you know?
You are a brand, whether you realize it or not. So you might as well learn how to do it right.
Yeah.
Exactly, because let's be clear, when you're building a company, you are building a personal brand as the founder and CEO as well. And people are looking to that. And that personal brand can help you attract the right talent. It can help you attract investors. It can help you attract clients, right? Media attention. There's so much opportunity for your company if you are nurturing your personal brand as well as the business itself and what you do itself. So they go hand in hand, and I feel like not enough people talk about it,
right?
And understand, like, how do I do those things and make them coexist? How do I have the brand that is Hello 7 and the brand that is Rachel Rodgers, and they're two separate things, but they align, and together, and they help each other, right? They help grow each other. It can be really magical. And like, you know, writing a book blew my business up. Like, it definitely helped us grow and get in front of so many more people, right? And so there's so many different, like, public speaking can do that for you, right? Like PR can do that. So much of it, right? And so that's what we're teaching you how to do at the most. And I agree with you, that step and repeat moment is almost like graduation.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
So that, I agree with you, was pretty magical as well.
It's like, now you remember what mama taught you, okay? You go out into that scary world and you remember.
Yes.
So what are we focusing on this year?
Yes. Well, I really loved talking about creating a plan, right? Like, because we teach you things, like we had Arlen Hamilton there teaching investing, right? Susan talked about real estate investing and how you can fund your dreams using that. We talked about storytelling and PR and getting an agent, and there were so many different style, right? We had all these different conversations, and then it's like, okay, how do we put all of that into a plan? And like, what are our steps? What are the action steps we're going to take when we leave? And so I think that's really important, right? Like, millionaires, one of the things we say is millionaires don't dream, they plan. But it's true. We dream and we plan, right? We dream big, and then we put a plan to it and start laying out the how. And that's one of the things that we do at the most, is teach you, we inspire you, help you understand other people's how, so you can extract from that what are some of the steps that you can take. What are your next moves to whatever it is? Get that book deal, get a TV show like Robert, right? Get a stylist, get a publicist, build a bigger brand around your business.
And when you plan, you want to be able to show up like the most.
Correct.
To show up and make a scene. And
Yes.
so when we talk about branding and we talk about becoming the most version of yourself, we're not just talking about pretty clothes. We're not just talking about like the color scheme of your brand or your logo, right? We're talking about the energy that you embody, and how to create a brand that's sustainable and that's authentic to you. Because often what you're hiding is your most valuable asset for your brand.
100%.
Oh, preach on it today, Reverend Deacon Bishop Hyatt.
I will marry you on a mountaintop too.
Listen, the doors of the church are open and ready. Talk about it today.
That's
okay?
right. You have to come to the most to hear more.
Yes, but it's so true. It's an inside job, right? And so it's like, what do you like? You want people to hire you to bring your authentic energy to their stage, to their space in the world, right? And so you want people literally paying you thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get your energy in the room, just to get your words on the page, right? And so how do you bring all of that? And it's bringing your personal stories, your personal work, right? Your vulnerability, all of those things to the story. And so all of that plays an important role in the work. And I just remember that beautiful, we had a movement moment with Koya Webb at the Most 2022. And like the reports were like, everybody was just like, it was a healing session, okay? They were leaving their old selves behind there on the yoga mat and getting up as a new person, okay? So it's just like all of the experiences, from the view to the beautiful hotel that we host this event at, from the food that you're gonna eat. It's all about how can we serve ourselves in the best way, take the best care of ourselves so that we can give our most in our creative work in the world. And it's really beautiful.
So, y'all, this year at the Most, we are talking about how to brand like the most, how to plan like the most, and how to show up like the most. And we are ready to bring the people together that are going to help you do that. And I love what you said, Susan, of it's not just going to be about the pretty clothes and the colors, because a lot of coaches and a lot of programs are doing that, right? They're giving you maybe a blueprint without any of the actual action steps. So we're giving you the blueprint, the action steps, and the people to help you take those next steps. And we are doing that in LA, April 27th through the 29th at the Most. So when you are ready, which is right now, go secure your spot and do not play yourself, all right? So go to welcometothemost.com, grab your seat, and we will see you there.